evening, everyone. Welcome to Delta High School to our 8th grade parent night. I'm Chris Conley, the screen tells you I'm principal of Delta High School. I'm finishing my 10th year as principal, 12th year in the building, 21st year in the district. So I've been around a little while. So we've got a pretty good handle on what we want to do tonight, but we want to make sure that you are comfortable when you leave and you've asked all the questions that you need to ask. If you've had students here in the distant past, not recent past, things are going to be a little bit different because of pathways and graduation requirements, those kinds of things. If your students are in high school right now, you've probably got a pretty good grip of what we do. So don't hesitate to ask questions. We'll be around to help you as this goes on when it comes time for you to do a few things. But just a little background about Delta High School in about 35 seconds. Obviously, we are an outstanding high school. We have right around 800 students this year. We've been an A school for the last 9 out of 10 years. We were the 12th early college high school in the state of Indiana. You could graduate from Delta High School with all of your general studies requirements completed. That's called the Indiana College Core. Or if you're interested in something else, we can get you dual credits in construction, manufacturing, agriculture. We can help you out getting to the Muncie Area Career Center, work on some other things. Or if you really just don't know, we can give you a broad spectrum of things to find out what you're interested in before you leave. The goal we have for every one of our students is to prepare them so that when they leave us, they have a leg up on everybody else they're going to compete against, whether it's going to a 4-year, a 2-year school, an apprenticeship program, the military, that you're better prepared than the student that might come from any other building. And what you'll find is our standards are pretty high, and our students continue to meet those standards and exceed those standards. They work well, they work hard, they get involved, they become vital members of our school community. And that's what we want you to do. If you're an 8th grader sitting out there, what do you want me to do, Mr. I want you to come here, and I want you to work hard, and I want you to get involved in something. And that may be music, that may be drama, that may be athletics, that may be a club, but get involved in something. Make this more than just showing up from 8:40 to 3:30 every day. And you'll get a heck of a lot more out of it that way by being involved than not. So we'll get on with the program because I know your time's valuable, my time's valuable. We all got to get to the grocery store before that snow hits on Wednesday or whatever. I've already told you there's no saltine crackers left in Muncie. I looked already, so if you're looking for those, go somewhere else. Mrs. Cindy Kunda, who's our guidance director, will be the one presenting tonight. And without further ado, here's Mrs. Kunda. Thank you.
Good evening. This is always a really exciting set of nights for me to be able to greet the incoming freshmen as well as to speak with parents. Even a couple of you tonight were like, oh, I have mixed feelings about this. Yeah, I understand that. I would like to tell you those mixed feelings get a little better, but as each year of high school rolls on and you realize that your child is that much closer to being out of the nest, and then it is a bittersweet moment for sure. So students, try to understand your parents and their emotions, and students also, tonight is really for you to be able to pick the classes that you feel will set you up the very best as you head into the rest of your other 3 years here with us at Delta High School. So, in order to accomplish that, we have an agenda. I'm going to cover the Indiana Diploma options and requirements. You then will complete the green course selection sheet, and you will turn that in this evening as well. When you leave today, I have 2 bins over there where Mrs. Gossett's standing, and one is if your last name is A through J, and the other one if your last name is K through Z. And so just drop your green paper in there on your way out. The white paper that you received as you came through the door will be yours to take home. So I saw many of you come in with notebooks ready to take notes. Thank you very much, and I like to see that preparation work. For those of you that are just coming in from a lot of different places and you didn't have time to grab anything, you're just fortunate to be here, then use that white paper to take any notes on. If for some reason you don't have a writing utensil, there are pencils back there on that cart as you came in, and feel free to get up and get one if you need to do that. So the white paper will be yours to take home, and feel free to make any notes on that you want. The white paper that I am referencing is really the best source of information as far as overall information for graduation requirements for the class of 2026. The class of 2026 and our current freshmen, the class of 2025, both of your classes are under the same diploma requirements. So if you have cousins or siblings that are currently sophomores or juniors in the building, or even seniors for that matter, their diploma requirements are slightly different from yours. And that's part of what I will be covering with you this evening. So this white paper will let you know in a general way what your diploma requirements are for the class of 2026. If you look at that white paper, you'll see some circles, and we reference those circles here in Indiana as buckets. So it's bucket 1, 2, and 3. Bucket 1 is where we're going to spend most of our time tonight in terms of diploma requirements, in terms of actual credits that you need for graduation, so that you get those 46 credits by the end of your senior year. Many of you will get more credits than that, but you need to have at least 46 credits for graduation. Bucket number 2 is learn and demonstrate employability skills, and bucket number 3 are the post-secondary ready competencies. So bucket number 2, if you look at that, you'll see a list there. And in that list, at the bottom of the chart, you'll see words like project-based, service-based, and work-based experiences. Those definitions at the bottom of that chart tie in to bucket number 2. So all the things that are listed there under bucket number 2, things like 5-year plan, resume, letter of reflection, employment letter verification, extracurricular activity, community service, those are all things for bucket number 2. So here's the deal. Mr. Conley already said, please get involved in something. When you get involved in something, you are actually fulfilling a graduation requirement, believe it or not. So you can join FFA and meet bucket number 2. You can be part of a sports team here at Delta High School and meet bucket number 2. You can be up on stage, or you can be backstage, or you can do makeup, or you can do lighting. Okay, you can be part of an art club. So the choices are wide, and there's a lot of variety here, but the point is that you get involved in something, and then that can count for bucket number 2. Perhaps you're someone in your family is very involved in community service within the community, or maybe you do civic theater, or you do other things in the community. Those are also ways for you to be able to fulfill bucket number 2. So there's a lot of ways to do that, and you just need to start thinking now, what is going to be the best fit for you as you go through your 4 years. Now, you don't have to do it all in your freshman year, but it's just something for you to think through. For bucket number 3, the post-secondary ready competencies, you will see yellow bullet points there. And it's important that as you look at this white chart, that you are paying close attention to the section where we have added some additional lingo for specifically the class of 2025 and your class, the class of 2026. You now start with the next level program of study, lingo, and that's shortened in Indiana Department of Education lingo as NLPS. So you may start seeing that pop up every now and again as we talk about courses specifically from now to the end of your senior year. But that NLPS are going to be a set of courses that you can potentially take in a pathway sequence. And I'll be covering that in more detail as well. But you can meet the post-secondary readiness competencies in a lot of different ways. You do not have to meet all of those bullet points, just one of them. And so parents, you can look at that list and you can automatically see, or on this chart on the screen, you can see that quite a few of these are actually tests. So we're talking the ACT, the SAT, the ASVAB, that's military test. And so we don't like to put all of our eggs in a bucket for a test score. So that's why we like to always make sure we've got a plan B going on, which is where a pathway sequence can be a nice opportunity for students. Now, if you are a student and you are thinking that you're going to do an honors diploma, which I will explain in more detail here in just a bit, it's important to realize that even though you are wanting to do an honors diploma, it's important to also have potentially a plan B, just in case you get to senior year and pre-calc doesn't go so well for you, okay? So it's important to have that plan B when it comes to bucket number 3 specifically. Your class of 2026, along with the class of 2025, has a graduation exam requirement of the SAT. And you will take the SAT during the school day toward the end of your junior year. So it's not like you're going to be hit with that next year, but it is something that you will take. If you have had older siblings, they've had ISTEP. The SAT, in essence, becomes your ISTEP. It's your graduation assessment exam. So, and then the ASVAB is listed on there. If things remain the same, you would also be given that test at the beginning of your junior year. So these are some ways to meet that bucket number 3. And like I said, they're all listed there in that white chart with the yellow bullet points. Okay, diploma. Back to bucket number 1 and the credits that you need. If you turn that white paper over, you will see a chart. And the chart will have the core 40 requirements spelled out there for you. Here at Delta High School, we have a couple of local requirements. One of those is in the area of English. Students are required to take a speech class, and this can count essentially as a semester of your English 12. But students are not allowed to take speech until grade 10, but you just have to have it completed by the end of your senior year. Also, we have a personal financial responsibility course that is required of all of our students here at Delta High School, so that's why those are written in there. For the Core 40 diploma, and you can look at the chart as I go through this, you need to have 8 credits in English. Now, a credit is earned at the end of each semester. So, and that is what will go on your transcript as long, students, as you have passed the class. So passing is 60%, which is a D-, and then you earn a credit. Obviously, we'd like for you to get higher than a 60%, but that will earn you your credit in the class. So English every year. Math, you need to have 6 credits in grades 9 through 12. And of all the things for me to explain, this by far is probably one of the most difficult things for me to help you understand. So with math, it's exactly what it says. You have to have 6 credits, grade 9 through 12. So if you are currently sitting in Algebra 1 in 8th grade at the middle school, those credits can count as long as your grades are high enough. We can bring those in and count those as credits. And they will show on your high school transcript. But you still need to have 6 credits, grades 9 through 12. So if you are sitting in Algebra 1 right now at the middle school, that means you would do geometry, Algebra 2, and pre-calculus for a Core 40 diploma. Because you have to have 6 credits, grades 9 through 12. That's not a Delta High School thing. That's a Department of Education in Indiana thing. So if you're taking Algebra 1 right now in the middle school and you're getting C's, I would highly consider asking you to retake the course next year, because otherwise you're forcing yourself into pre-calculus for a Core 40 diploma. And the Core 40 diploma is the default diploma in Indiana for four-year colleges. For instance, Ball State. Okay. Now, colleges like Purdue and Indiana, IU, Bloomington, they're going to require 4 years of math, but Ball State does not. And so those are all things for you to consider as you think through this. So science, 3 years of science, social studies, 3 years of social studies, PE, health, personal financial responsibility. There's a local requirement here of either 2 fine arts credits or 2 vocational CTE credits. Those are spelled out for you on the green paper so that you know which credits count as what. A certain number of directed electives and then some general electives. For the Core 40 diploma, students, you must take a math or what's called a quantitative reasoning course every year, grades 9 through 12. So your senior year, you might be thinking, well, I'll be done with my math by the end of my junior year. Okay? Yep, that's true. As long as you pass everything and start with Algebra 1 in 9th grade. But econ can also count as a quantitative reasoning course, and that's a required course for your senior year. The Core 40 diploma is right now the minimum diploma required for those of you who are 21st century scholars. And the Core 40 diploma does not require a world language and again has 46 credits that are required. The academic honors diploma, that information, the additional information is there on that chart on the right-hand side at the top. And it's everything that's listed in the Core 40 side along with some additional requirements. So the additional requirements, it would be 1 more year of math, and also this diploma requires 3 years of a world language. So we offer Spanish here. So some of you may be taking Spanish at the middle school, and if you want to move into Spanish too, as long as your grades are high enough, then that's fine. And you just need to do 3 years of Spanish. There's not the same thing with math as with world language as there is with math. All right, and everything else pretty much remains the same here, with the exception of 2 fine arts credits would be required. So fine arts, you can get that in music, theater, student media, and so that's the way that you're going to pick those up. The academic honors diploma has some grade stipulations. You have to have at least a C in every class. Now this would be on your transcript, so at the end of the semester, C. You have to have, however, a cumulative GPA by the end of your senior year of an 8.0 on our 12-point scale, so that's a B average. So for every C you actually get, you have to have an A to balance that out in order to maintain that 8.0 average. You also have to earn at least 6 dual credits. Now here at Delta High School, thankfully, we have a lot of different options for you, particularly starting your junior year and going into your senior year. And there are other ways to meet that particular requirement, but quite frankly, most of our students do it through the dual credit courses. And the academic honors diploma requires 1 more credit of 47. The technical honors diploma is everything on the Core 40 side. However, it also it requires a CTE pathway. So when you look at that information on the right-hand side down at the bottom of that white chart, you'll see it says CTE pathway, credits earned, dual credits earned in a CTE pathway. So for the technical honors diploma, that pathway is something that has to be a very specific set of courses. The technical honors diploma has the same grade requirements of the academic honors diploma in regards to at least a C in every class, that cum GPA, and I'm not going to go through all this again because it's there on that white chart for you to be able to see. And also 47 credits. The only way for you to do a technical honors diploma with our in-house classes would be to do the Project Lead the Way engineering sequencing of classes that we have. So we do have some teachers, some of you probably saw them sitting out there as you came in. Once I'm done with my presentation, you will have time to go out and speak with those teachers. So we have represented out there the Project Lead the Way engineering set of courses and also manufacturing out there. So the Introduction to Engineering Design course, that would be the course you would start with as a freshman, and that could put you on this path for an honors diploma or for a pathway just in general. So at this time, we're going to move into the course selection sheet. So if you will look at the green sheet, the first thing I need you to do is to put the student name at the top. So you'll put last name, first name. Please, I don't care if you print or if you write cursive, but just make it legible. It doesn't do any good for me to get a piece of paper if I can't read whose courses it's supposed to be. So last name, first name at the top of that green paper, and that green paper is the one that you will be turning in. I'm going to step you through this as we go on here. You'll put an X as we go through in each of the boxes for the courses that you're going to be taking. And when you get done, because we have a 7-period day and a 2-semester year, then you will have 14 X's. And you will need 14 X's in order to have a full set of courses selected. So your green paper is this on the side where it actually has the courses. There's 2 sides to that green paper. So the side that has the name, where you just place the name. So in English 9, you have your choice between English 9 and Honors English. If you are currently in Honors English and your grades are in ABs, then you can, and you want to continue in Honors curriculum, you can mark that. So you'll put an X in the semester 1 box and an X in the semester 2 box. That would be 2 X's because it's a full year course. If you are not currently in an honors class, but you're doing very well in English, very well defined as A, high B work, and you might want to take on the challenge of English 9 honors, in order to do that, you need to have your current teacher give you a recommendation. So if that's the case, what I want you to do is I want you, for today, to indicate regular English 9, not honors, but write a note in there that just says, "We'll ask teacher for honors recommendation." That way I know that that's on your radar and that's something that you actually do want to do. And then that will be up to you to ask the teacher for that recommendation. Okay, so that's English 9. You just need one of those. You're not doubling up. Okay, math. So you will have your choice of Algebra 1, Geometry, or Geometry Honors. If you are currently in Algebra 1 at the middle school and you're doing well being defined as A, high B work, then Geometry Honors can be an option for you. If you're doing B work and Algebra 1 has been a bit of a struggle, actually if Algebra 1 has been a bit of a struggle for you at all, you should retake it, because it'll just increasingly get more and more difficult in the math curriculum. But you have your choice between regular geometry, if you're currently in Algebra 1, or Geometry Honors. If you are not in Algebra 1 at the middle school, then that is the class you will take, because that is seen as the freshman level course in math, Algebra 1. That is a full year course, so you will mark both semester 1 and semester 2. In the area of science, biology is your class, so you'll all mark for biology. Again, that's a full year, so you'll have 2 X's there. For social studies, here you get a bit of a choice. You need to have your social studies done by the end of your 10th grade year. So if you're wanting to get started maybe on a pathway class that I'll be talking about here in just a second, geography, social studies is something that could be put off to grade 10, but you'll just have to remember that that is something that does have to go into your overall schedule. You have a choice between geography or world history, and those are each full year courses. So you can't do one semester of one and one semester of the other. You have to take the same class all year long, whenever you take it, either freshman year or 10th grade year. PE Health. So you have, for any diploma, you have 2 credits of PE that you have to do. You will do one of those your freshman year, and the other one will be grade 10. So freshman year, you will do a semester of PE 1 and a semester of health. So you will mark both of those. World language. Here's where, again, you get some choice. A world language is not required except for the honors diploma. So you can, and some of you I know are probably ready for Spanish 2. And if you are, go ahead and indicate Spanish 2. Again, Spanish is a full year course, so you would be placing 2 X's there. I will say that some 4-year colleges require 2 years of a world language. Not all colleges, Ball State does not. Purdue does, IU Bloomington does. I will also say that if you're currently sitting in English class and your grades are maybe D's or not so much, D's even, I highly recommend that you not tackle a world language until that gets a little bit more under control in terms of your English, because we don't want you failing English 9 and taking Spanish at the same time. Okay, fine arts courses. Here's where you have some choices. And these are listed for you as you look at the green paper on the first column, right underneath those main courses. So you've got some options in art. For art, you need to have 2D art before you can take any other art class. Some of you may be in honors art right now, and if you are, and if you're earning your credit, because if you're getting an A, B, or C in that class, then you could go ahead and sign up for a level 1 art class. And what I'd like for you to do, if that does define you, is just write in there, currently in honors art, or just in honors art, okay? Then that way I know to look and to double check for you on that. Also, you can get fine arts credits in music. I know that some of you are in band or choir, and you can indicate there which one you would like to do. For theater. Theater is not an option for you until you have finished grade 9. There are potential exceptions for that, but you would need to email Mrs. Raleigh, Dawn Raleigh, our drama director here and teacher here at the high school, and then she will ascertain what you've done potentially at the middle school or in the community to make that decision. Also, student media can be an option for you, and that would be newspaper for you to be able to move into that, and that can count as a fine arts credit as well. Okay, moving on to the next column on the green paper, the next level program of study, CTE pathway areas. So we have CTE pathways in agriculture, business, family and consumer science, and engineering and technology. Agriculture and engineering and technology are represented by tables out here for you to be able to go talk to. And also Spanish is represented, and also English is represented. So if you want to know what's going to be happening in any of those curriculums now through senior year, please take advantage of speaking with those teachers so that you can be making the right choices for yourself. As you look at this green paper, you will see the first class listed for each of those pathways. So for instance, Principles of Agriculture, that's going to be the first class in an ag pathway. Principles of Business Management, that will be the first class in a business pathway. So you can kind of see how that falls together. Now, some of you sitting in here are potentially in Computer Science 1 at the middle school right now. If that's the case, and you're doing well in that class, and you're well enough to be able to bring your credits over here to the high school, then you will be allowed to go into Computer Science 2 next year. Otherwise, if you're not in Computer Science 1 right now, then you would need to go into Computer Science your freshman year. There's also Principles of Early Childhood Ed, and that leads into a pathway that will lead into working with our preschool and students there, and Principles of Culinary and Hospitality. The IED and design I've already talked about. And then there are other electives as well that are listed there for you to be able to select. The one thing I want to talk about also is study hall. There is a place there for you to indicate study hall. You do not get credit for a period of study hall. You may take study hall for one semester for all year. So that's a place where you can mark it however you want to mark it. But make sure if you are really involved in extracurricular activities, let's say semester 2, maybe that's when you want your study hall. And so that's why it's listed in that way. If you have an individualized education plan and you're currently in a basic skills class in the resource room, there's a place for you to indicate basic skills for a full year here as well. And then also some of you potentially might be in a resource room study hall, maybe not basic skills, and so you can indicate that. And this would all be IEP driven at your case conferences. Parents, things for you to consider as you assist your student with this process. Not only the courses, but also just the word balance is what I always like to come about. Think about the home schedule. What responsibilities are on your student at home? School activities, what are they anticipating being involved in? And community activities. And then making sure there's a balance so that your son or daughter, they're not overwhelmed their freshman year. We do have a couple of classes on this list that are dual credit through Ivy Tech, and those would be Principles of Construction and IED, the Introduction to Engineering Design. If you sign up for one of those two classes, it is our expectation that you would follow through and register for dual credit, which you would do at the beginning of the school year next year. There are some resources online for you. Students, your Canvas, you have a Canvas class page, the class of 2026. And there is a scheduling module in that Canvas page, and you can go to that, and after, probably on Wednesday, this video of me that's happening right now will be posted, and also there will be the course selection sheet will be posted, this diploma chart will be posted. There are also videos that deal with the specific elective classes that you could potentially choose as well. And you can also, I'm telling you that because if you want to get on your class of 2026 Canvas page via your phone right now, then you can look at some of those things as well in terms of descriptions. And there's the online curriculum guide, and then the course videos that I just referenced. Okay, so at this point, what I would like for you to do is to remember that you need to have 14 boxes altogether. You need to think of it in terms of your core subjects. You have to have English, math, science, maybe social studies, maybe world language. You have to have PE, health, and then whatever electives you want. So again, When you're done, and we will be circulating to answer questions that you have on a more individual basis. And when you're finished, if you can put your green paper in the bin up there. And then also, before you do that, please take the opportunity to meet with the teachers that are out in the foyer before you make some of these final decisions.
You're fine.
Okay, I wanted to make sure.
You're fine.